Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous. Last episode, we did a bit more wandering through this part of the Abyss, and this part of the City of Evolutionera, and we've made our way over into the Battlebliss arena. So let's see what we can do here, shall we? A stern but tired-looking tiefling observes you politely. His clothes look expensive but tasteful. He's carrying a large bag, and every once in a while it moves and twitches as if something is inside. Welcome to the Battlebliss arena. My name is Zeklex. I'm the arena steward. Ermangaleth is the master of the arena, but I help him manage its affairs. You look like you're new here. Did you come to spectate the fights or participate in them? The tiefling has a surprisingly open and honest face. After all these demons, he looks strangely normal. The tiefling looks you up and down with the calm professionalism of a person doing an unpleasant job with diligence. You wield both blade and magic. A classic approach for the arena. Most of our gladiators do the same to a greater or lesser extent. The broader your arsenal, the lower the chance you'll face an insurmountable opponent. Ermangaleth. I remember a demon called Ermangaleth. He was a vile, cunning murderer. He had a way with words that was just as deadly as his skill in battle. There's a rustling sound from within the tiefling's bag, and an imp peeks his head out to look at you. He has large, drooping ears, and stares at you with his huge, unblinking eyes. Then, as if suddenly shy, he darts back into the bag and vanishes from sight. I'd like to know more about the Battlebliss. What would you like to know? The arena's operations are simple. It functions like a pyramid. The spectators are the lowest level, regular gladiators are on the next tier, followed by the members of the Nahindrian League. The champion towers above them all, and the master of the arena stands on his shoulders like an omnipotent god. Tell me more about what happens in the arena. The Battlebliss is a gladiatorial arena. You must understand, fights are a big deal in Evolutionera. They are the city's primary source of gossip and entertainment. They are much more than that. These gladiatorial matches serve as a kind of ritual, a daily offering to the demonic way of life. And these daily offerings, these rituals, are performed in the Battlebliss. In a way, it's more of a temple than an arena. The arena is the only reason the city's still standing. Without the Battlebliss, the demons would have brought Evolutionera to ruins long ago. But instead of tearing down the city with their rage and their desire for slaughter, they come here to quench their thirst for blood. You see, the arena gives them a sort of release. It allows them to satiate their lust for violence. Who runs this place? His name is Ermangaleth. He's a Cambion. He was born in the Abyss as the offspring of an incubus and a mortal woman. Incubi are naturally persuasive, but Ermangaleth's father was especially skilled at using his words to manipulate and control. Well, his son inherited his silver tongue. His ability to influence a crowd is unmatched. With just the sound of his voice, he can instantly instigate a riot or make a screaming group of demons fall silent and listen to his every word. When he warms up to the audience, the spectators are ready to jump into the arena and fight the gladiators themselves. Who's the strongest fighter in the arena? Well, the champion's title is currently held by an incubus named Gelderfang. He's the deadliest of Ermangaleth's fighters and serves as his bodyguard. He is a true artist of death and destruction. Of course, there are other fighters on the Abyss who are more dangerous, but no one can kill like he does. He makes every death exquisite, and prolongs the agony and suffering of his opponents. He can transform any fight into a spectacular show. He turns combat into a performance, and knows how to create a dramatic spectacle out of the most mundane match. There are only two things Gelderfang wants in life: pleasure and murder. They are his obsession, and he feeds that obsession every time he steps into the arena. After all, everyone in Evolutionera knows his name, and the audience yells it at the top of their lungs every time he kills one of his rivals. And what is the Nahindrian League? It's an odd name, I admit, but it's in keeping with the latest trend. Nahindrian is a very popular word in Evolutionera these days. The Nahindrian League is led by the arena's current champion, Gelderfang, and only the very best gladiators can become members. The fighters of the League belong to Ermangaleth, but not all of them are demons. Evolutionera serves as a crossroads between multiple worlds, and fighters come from many different planes to perform in the arena. I've heard of Nahindrian crystals. Do you get them if you're a member of the League? Zeklex gives you a faint smile. They'd like you to believe that, but no. The members of the Nahindrian League are no different than the Nahindrian booze vendor in the tavern, or the Nahindrian whip supplier at the flesh markets. None of them actually have access to the crystals. I've heard that Nahindrian crystals contain an immense power. Gelderfang would love to have one, and there are rumors that Ermangalith promised him a crystal in exchange for his services as a bodyguard. Of course, it wouldn't surprise me to find out that Ermangalith was lying. I'm not even sure he knows how to get his hands on a Nahindrian crystal. I understand. Let me know more about you. The tiefling smiles wryly and addresses the imp in his bag. You see, Crow, this is why we worked so hard to climb the ranks. We wanted to be important, and now look, this stranger wants to know all about us. I guess that means we're finally a big deal. Who are you? I'm the arena steward. My position is prestigious, but my success is hard-earned. My life has not been easy. I grew up on the streets of Elutionera. I was a street urchin, an orphan. I'm the result of an act of violence committed against a helpless slave woman. I've always been weak. I've always been surrounded by those who are bigger and stronger than me. All my life, I've had to rely on my wits to survive. Out on the streets, I scrounged around for food and tried to avoid becoming someone else's snack. Fortunately, I had someone to look out for me. The tiefling takes a small piece of dried meat and holds it close to the bag. Quick as a flash, a scrawny paw darts from the bag and snatches up the treat. Crow has been my companion for a long time. He's also my partner in business. Together, we saved up our money one coin at a time. We made allies and sought out opportunities for advancement. We've worked hard to climb the ranks of society. In the beginning, our goals were simple. Never starve again, never live in poverty again, never fear for our lives again. Trust me, those goals aren't easy to accomplish here in the Abyss. You have to be very influential in this city to achieve any of those things. But we've managed to make our goals a reality. In fact, we're doing quite well for ourselves here in Elutionera. What's your role here? Ermangalith is an artist, not a clerk. That's why I have so many responsibilities. I search for new fighters, I make the fight charts, and arrange the fights so that the opponents are evenly matched. And, of course, I organize all the matches. Unfortunately, my master has a habit of interfering with my work. He's been very involved lately, and as a result, the fights have been terrible. The combat turns into meaningless carnage. There's no skill, no strategy involved. And of course, no one wants to place bets on fights like that. Everyone already knows who's going to win. They aren't even fights anymore, they're just public executions. That's also a form of entertainment, of course, but that's not what our audience wants. Bets, you say? I wouldn't mind betting a few coins. What's your cut of the winnings? Zeklex's voice takes on a monotonous tone, like the rustle of dry, dusty pages in a thick accounting book. Our normal cut is 20%. That number goes down to 10% if the betting ratio is 3 to 1 against the winner, and it goes up to 30% if the odds are 3 to 1 or more in favor of the winner. Got it. You don't look like you belong in the Abyss. The imp peeks out of the bag, and the tiefling grins as he pats his companion's tiny little head. That's because I like to stay organized. When I was growing up, I made mental lists of all my possessions. My money, my enemies and allies, my schedule, and my goals. I was weaker than everyone else, and these mental calculations helped me to survive. It was the only advantage I had, the only way that I could gain the upper hand, and keeping lists became a habit. I found that it disciplines the mind and keeps my thoughts organized. I'm an accountant by nature, and my ability to bring order to a place where chaos reigns has turned out to be a profitable skill. And who is that imp hiding in your bag? The tiefling smiles as a little creature peeks curiously out of the bag. It has big drooping ears, a small round face, and big round eyes that gaze at you curiously. Oh, this is Crow. He's my business partner. He also happens to be my familiar. I have no idea how he wound up in the Abyss, but he's not had an easy time of it either. If our paths hadn't crossed, we'd both be dead by now. He's probably the only one I truly trust. The imp fidgets beneath your gaze and finally darts back down into the bag to hide. It is odd to see an imp, an infernal creature, here in the Abyss. The fundamentally chaotic energy of the place must be repugnant to a creature born on the plane of order and evil. Your imp is an infernal creature. How has he managed to survive here in the Abyss? Zeklex looks at you with respect. Oh, it's nice to meet a person who knows the difference between an imp and a quasit. Yes, Crow is a devil, though a lesser one. I have no idea how he ended up here, but at the time we met, he was extremely unwell. Staying in the abyss is not much easier for him than staying underwater would be for a mortal. So that's how I spent the first real money I managed to earn here, on this fine, stolen-to-order bag. It's had magic symbols sewn inside it that make its interior bearable for Crow. Interesting. Alright, I'd like to talk to Hermongalith. The imp pokes his head out of the bag in surprise. You seem to have aroused his curiosity. His sad, drooping ears perk up with excitement, and he stares at you with his big, round eyes. You wish to speak with Hermongalith. I'm afraid that's impossible. Hermongalith never communicates with anyone except his most trusted aides, and Gelderfang is under strict orders to kill anyone who tries to talk to his master without permission. Hermongalith believes that minimizing his contact with the outside world will make the audience in the arena want him even more. Alright, well, we need to be known in order to get any further, so I want all of Elutionera to know my name. I want you to arrange a match for me against your strongest gladiator. The tiefling falls silent. He looks as though he is calculating something in his head. If that is truly your goal, you'll have to defeat the current champion. If you kill Gelderfang, your name will be on everyone's lips. But you'll have to prove yourself if you want to face the champion. A fight with Gelderfang is a big deal here in Elutionera, and only members of the Nahindrian League, the elite gladiators of the Battlebliss, are considered worthy opponents. Killing others just to entertain spectators? These creatures of the abyss sow death and destruction in such a careless, casual manner. But it is extremely difficult to join the League. You have to slay an active member and take their place. So, if you wish to fight the champion, you'll have to spend a lot of time in the arena. However, if you would like, I can arrange a fight between you and another newcomer. If you can prove yourself in battle, I'll be able to find you a match against a more reputable opponent. I've killed hundreds of demons. Why should I have to prove myself to anyone? The tiefling shrugs. I'm sure you fought countless enemies back on Golarion, but this is the abyss. No one cares. If you want the audience to respect you, you'll have to prove yourself in the arena. They won't take you seriously until you show them what you can do. Very well, I'll prove myself. I'll fight another newcomer. I'm glad that we reached an understanding. Alright, let's enter the arena. Oh, you're in luck. For the past couple of days, Hermongalith has been obsessed with recruiting new talent. He wants to introduce a promising new fighter into the arena. I think you could play the part perfectly. Hermongalith may even give you a chance to earn a place in the Nahindrian League. However, if you do become a candidate for membership, be careful. You'll likely be matched up against a very dangerous opponent. Who is my opponent? The tiefling looks questioningly at the imp who is peeking up out of the bag. The imp shrugs and waves his hand dismissively before disappearing again. Zeklix turns back to you. Some nameless newcomer. Will it be a fight to the death? Well, of course. Every fight must end in the death of the gladiator. It's the most important part of the show. Many of our spectators come here just to watch the gladiators finish off their fallen opponents. They want to see spectacular death scenes and cunning coup de grace. Of course, some fighters survive the ordeal and can be pieced back together, but I wouldn't bet on it if I were you. I'm ready to enter the arena. I wish you good luck. If you die, greet death with a sweet kiss. Better still, slay all your opponents and return alive and victorious. Alright, arena fight. These are always fun. This fighter is a nobody from nowhere, but if she survives, you'll all worship the ground she walks on. Today, we have the dubious honor of welcoming to the arena Falai Galasson of Golarion. Let's see what moniker she earns for herself, if she lives that long. And who will stand against her? Well, they may be small, but they are far from harmless. If you underestimate them, they'll bite your family jewels off. An outsized amount of spite wrapped up in a tiny, ugly package. It's Smugmug's wild gang of methods.
I'll bite your nose off, you Golarion scum. I am the wild and terrible Smugmug. Tremble before me.
We will soon know which of these two titans will emerge victorious. Fighters, commence battle! Okay then. Fire methods. Should be easy. And they just... wow. We have a winner! All hail our glorious fighter! She emerges triumphant in this dangerous, violent conflict. she decorated the arena with Method Guts. Give it up for Falai Galason, the Method Slayer! Hey, who knows? Maybe someday she'll get a chance to fight against a member of the Nahindrian League. Once they start accepting methods into their ranks. Ha ha ha! Well, that was almost pathetically easy. Okay, well, let's get out of here, I guess.
I'm gone.
I thought we were going to have an actual fight. We barely were able to fight. So, Zeklex, want to explain? So, is this your idea of a joke? Were you trying to humiliate me? Why'd you put me up against such a ridiculous opponent? Your conversation is interrupted by an eccentric-looking demon with suspiciously bright eyes. Judging from the slur of his words, he's under the influence of some kind of mind-altering substance.
Here, look at that. That's the Method Slayer. Train hard, girl, and maybe someday you'll be strong enough to fight a real dredge.
The Zeklex frowns in irritation. With astonishing speed, he produces a dagger from his sleeve and cuts the demon's throat in one swift, clean movement. The insolent demon gurgles, staring at the tiefling in surprise. He slowly sinks to the floor beneath the contemptuous gaze of his killer. The tiefling cleans his blade with what is quite possibly the only handkerchief in the abyss. His face is pale and he looks slightly sick as he glances at the corpse. Oh, what a brute. Please, listen to me before you draw your weapon. This was an outrage, yes, but it wasn't my idea. This was done under Mangalith's orders. He came up with the brilliant idea to match you up against a method. He thought the crowds would find it funny. I couldn't stop him. But I assure you, this will never happen again. Quick as a flash, Zeklex produces a gold coin from his bag and places it into your hand. Here, this is for you. From now on, you can freely use the transportation arch that is located near the Battlebliss. This is one of the privileges afforded to the arena's gladiators. I demand a proper fight. Zeklex closes the bag hastily to prevent the imp's agitated efforts to escape. And I promise that I will arrange a proper fight for you. But first I need you to do me a favor. I'll arrange a match for you against the Flayer twins. However, they were supposed to fight someone else, so I'll have to find them a replacement. Unfortunately, we don't have enough decent fighters left in the arena. I would be very grateful if you could procure a new batch of gladiators for me. I will cover the costs, of course. How far will we have to go to complete this mission? Soon enough, we'll be guilty of all the same sins as the demons. Today, we kill to entertain them, but what happens tomorrow? Will we have to pray to the Lady in Shadow? I'm not going to become a slave trader. Zeklex frowns and exchanges glances with the imp as he peeks out of the bag. Why not? Does it violate your principles? This is the Abyss. Scruples won't do you any good here. In fact, I'd advise you to keep your morals on a tight leash if you want to survive. But fine, Lamash to take them. I'll try to make sure your fight with the Flayer twins takes place as soon as possible. I don't like being called the Method Slayer. I want to change my title. There's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. The crowd loves it, and that is all that matters to Armangalith. You'll remain the Method Slayer for as long as the audience finds it amusing. Ready to enter the arena. The steward looks slightly worried but nods. As you wish. It will be a difficult fight. This opponent is more dangerous than the last one you faced, so make sure you are fully prepared before you enter the arena. However, if you win this fight, you'll be one step closer to earning your place in the Nahindrian League. Who's my opponent? The tiefling pats the bag absent-mindedly. A scrawny paw emerges and holds up two small fingers. Oh, yes, the Flayer twins. A dangerous duo with an impressive number of victories. They have a reputation in the arena, so defeating them will bring you honor and prestige. However, you should remember that their stage name was given to them for a reason. Ready to enter the arena? Well, I wish you good luck. If you don't... okay. Same farewell. Oh! So, who will she fight today? I'll give you a hint. They'll get under your skin. Oh yes, One day they decided to get under a gladiator's skin, so they killed one, flayed him, and wore his skin as a suit. Meet the duo who makes all twins terrifying! Today they are going to dress themselves in the height of Galarian fashion, the Flaya Twins!
I'll make you a pair of shoes out of you, you soft and spineless outsider.
We'll see which contestants survive and which ones decorate the arena with their dead bodies! Fighters, commence battle! Just gonna drop a quick save first. Alright, in we go to attack them. Sister Flayer, Brother Flayer. Get on him. Oh. Oh, okay. If this were a fair fight, it would have been boring, but a Mangalith will never allow boredom in his arena.
You've ruined my clothes. The suit used to be the skin of a respectable demon. Sister, in your memory, I will wear your face as a mask.
And I think the Flaya Twins are a duo no longer. It's time to think of a new nickname. What was that? Despite my cunning schemes and despite the extensive experience of her rivals, the victory belongs to the Method Slayer! Well, you can loot these things. Oh, we did actually get some pieces of loot out of this. What did we get? Okay, you are going to go down to here. We've got Armor of Vigilance Sprouts. Whenever the wearer of this padded armor is hit by a sneak attack or an attack of opportunity, the attacker must pass a reflex or become entangled. Whenever the wearer of this ring is 10 feet from the companion who wears the same ring, they both gain the effect of back-to-back. If they both already have it, they gain an additional +2 bonus to AC. So back-to-back gives a bonus to AC. I don't think I'm going to give that to anyone. And Toxic Wrap. This cloak grants its wearer immunity to acid. It also makes enemies sickened for 1d3 rounds upon landing a sneak attack, unless they pass a Fortitude saving throw. Not a bad thing, I guess. It's mainly the immunity to acid. The sneak attack thing isn't really particularly notable to me. Either way, we still haven't really lost much health, so we're still doing well. My fight in the arena was far from fair. Care to explain? The imp squeals angrily as he tries to get out of the bag. Zeklex holds the bag shut, fighting to keep his belligerent companion inside. I swear, it was Ermangalef's idea. As you should already know, he is not a fan of fair fights. I regret that you've been caught in his trap. However, you held up well. You've got talent. I may be able to arrange a match for you against a serious opponent. Maybe even the champion. I want to challenge the strongest fighter in the arena. Things don't work like that around here. Gelderfang only fights members of the Nahindrian League, and a fight with him is a big deal. After his last, incident, Ermangalef strictly forbade him from entering the arena without permission. Gelderfang is his bodyguard, after all. So if you want to fight the champion, you'll have to join the Nahindrian League, and there's only one way to do that. By killing another member of the League. But fighting a member of the League is a privilege. You'll have to earn the right to face him in battle. Now, I might be able to help you on that front, but first you'll have to do me a favor. I want to give a gift to the current champion. I'd like to send him the most beautiful succubi from the 10,000 Delays. I need you to make a deal with them and convince them to provide their services to Gelderfang. If you do this, Gelderfang will be happy for me to arrange a fight between you and a League fighter without delay. Fine, I need the gold up front. The tiefling carefully counts out the gold coins and hands them over to you. These should compensate your expenses. Ready to enter the arena? I'm afraid you'll have to wait until I can find you a worthy opponent. However, you could use this time to assist me in the matter we spoke of earlier. Alright, alright. So, that'll be our task. Go to the 10,000 Delights and get a bunch of whores. You know what? We can do that, I suppose. Alright, head on outside. I mean, we've done some fights. Maybe the guards will allow us to get out and go to the next area? It is entirely possible. Alright, so if we head out this way... Hang on. There we go. Oh, too far. So, senior guard. I want to go through. Oh. Yeah, I want to go through. The demon sucks his teeth and replies, his voice tinged with lazy menace. Okay. Out of my way, scum. The demon seems to have shrunk and lost most of his bluster. I don't care what Nocticulus says. I'd rather live to see another day. Come on, hurry on through while I just happen to be looking the other way. Thank you. And now I'll be able to go through to the middle city. But we'll be doing that in the next episode, because this one's gone on long enough. So, next episode, on to the middle city. Till then, I am Chestic44, also known as Fly. That is me, Regil, Woljif, Darren, Lan, and Nenio. This has been a Let's Play of Wrath of the Righteous, and I shall see you all next time.